Hello there guys, welcome to Dinos World. Today I review the all-new Bajaj Pulsar 125, the split seat variant. Yes, this is yet another variant in the Pulsar 125 series. Now this gets the same split seat setup like the Pulsar 150 twin disc. So all the details that you need to know, including my first ride impression as to how it feels to ride and the top speed run, is what is coming up. So without further ado, let's get started with this video.
She wanna lie, no strings attached till we fight. I'm getting way too cold. I feel the 50 in my dome.
So this is the Bajaj Pulsar 125 split seat model. It's absolutely identical to the Pulsar 150 twin disc model in terms of design. It gets the extended tank cowl, the sporty body graphics, the engine cowl, and also most importantly, as the name suggests, a split seat layout. So this comes up as a follow-up to the sudden surprise launch of the Pulsar 125 Neon model that happened a few weeks earlier. Now price-wise, this split seat model is around 4,000 rupees dearer than the Neon 125. Now the Pulsar 125 Neon is priced at rupees 66,714 here in Hyderabad. So this should be costing anywhere around 70,000 rupees. Now first, let's just go ahead and look at the differences between the Pulsar Neon 125 and the Pulsar 125 split seat model. Now please note that the official specs are not yet out, but as per my assumption, this split seat model gets the same engine along with the same power and torque figures as that of the Pulsar 125 Neon. So listing out the differences, the major difference, as the name suggests, is the split seat layout that this new model gets as opposed to the Neon 125. We get sporty body graphics on this variant as opposed to the plain Jane avatar of the Neon 125. We also get an engine cowl just like the Pulsar 150 twin disc model. We then have the carbon fiber cues for the side panels, which look absolutely awesome. We also get split rear grab bars compared to the single grab bar on the Neon 125. Now everything else remains the same: the brakes, the tires, the clip-on handlebars, the carbon fiber cues on the speedo console, the satin chrome finish to the exhaust heat shield, the wolf-eyed headlamp, and the twin LED strips tail lamp, which is a hallmark design element of the Pulsar family. Now both the bikes get combined braking system, which works similar to Honda's combi brake system. Now how this works is each time you use the rear brake, the front brake is engaged automatically to offer a more controlled and secure braking mechanism, and this reduces the overall braking distance significantly. But please note that CBS is completely different from ABS. With CBS, the wheels will lock up under harsh braking scenarios and the bike would skid easily, especially on wet road surfaces like these where I'm performing the braking test today. But the advantage with CBS is that the braking distance is reduced significantly. In case of the ABS, the bike does not skid because the wheels do not lock up, but the thing to note is that the braking distance is slightly longer in case of ABS when compared to CBS. Now just for the records, we get a 240mm disc up front and a drum brake at the back, and I have to tell you that the braking is decent enough for a bike in the 125cc class. Also, the seat on the split seat model is a textured pattern seat, so it prevents the rider from sliding forward each time the rider hits the brakes. The tires remain the same for both the bikes. We get 17-inch wheels and tubeless tires. We get an 80/100 tire up front and a 100/90 tire at the back. Suspension wise, we get telescopic forks up front and Nitrox gas charged shock absorbers at the back. Tank capacity, I believe, is the same as that of the Neon 125, which is 11.5 liters. Now for those who think and feel bad that it looks identical to the Pulsar 150 twin disc model, well, let me tell you that the 150 twin disc model gets better equipment compared to this Pulsar 125 split seat model. We get fatter tires on the 150 twin disc with a 120/80 rear tire compared to the 100/90 rear tire on this bike. We get fatter 37mm front forks compared to the thinner front forks on this bike. We get a larger 260mm front disc on the Pulsar 150 twin disc compared to the 240mm front disc on this 125cc split seat model. We also get a larger fuel tank of 15 liters compared to 11.5 liters on this bike. So what do I think about this bike? Well, I think this has taken the competition by storm and in fact also surprised the competition because I don't think they saw it coming. The macho styling of the Pulsar, made accessible at an affordable price tag on par with the 125cc commuter, is unimaginable. Mind you, the best thing Bajaj have done here is they have not compromised by taking away the thrill factor that defines the Pulsar family, which is why we see them clearly bragging about that in the promo campaigns for these new Pulsar 125 twins, because it's not just the body of the Pulsar that these 125cc twins don. Now these bikes undeniably get the soul of the bigger Pulsars as well. The state of tune that the engine is in reminds you of the Pulsar factor. You don't feel like you're riding a Discover engine disguised as a Pulsar. It is indeed a Pulsar engine that is in a slightly detuned state to maximize economy while also offering the sporty character of India's favorite sport bike. A top speed of 116 km per hour is pretty impressive for a 125cc bike, considering that the Pulsar 135LS of the yesteryears used to come with a top speed claim of 112 km per hour. The other commuters in the segment manage somewhere around 95 to 100 km per hour, so the Pulsar will continue to set your pulses racing now even in the 125cc category. The power plant I'm hoping is the same as the one featured on the Neon 125. Now, powering this bike is a 4-stroke 2-valve DTSI twin-spark 124.4cc engine that puts out 12 PS of max power at 8,500 rpm and 11 Nm of max torque at 6,500 rpm. Now the best thing about this bike, just like what I had highlighted during my Neon 125 review, is that we get a 5-speed gearbox for that extra bit of thrust towards the top end. The engine is creamy refined as always with zero vibrations even while doing 116 km per hour. The acceleration is clean and linear. You don't get the instant torque right from the word go. The bike starts out in a very composed manner and keeps pulling all the way to the red line. The suspension is absolutely bang on and can definitely be rated as best in class for a comfortable ride through the pothole-ridden city streets and offering unbelievable high-speed stability. The tires, on the other hand, could have been better because post 110 km per hour they start feeling a little uncertain. The clutch feel is light, but the clutch travel is a bit too fast, so that adds in a bit of fatigue with constant usage in the stop and go city traffic. The throttle response, again, as I told you, is very smooth and linear. There is no rush of torque, but the bike does pull cleanly without much of a fuss, even with a pillion on board. Overall, the bike is way ahead of its segment, and obviously so because Bajaj have transitioned their best-selling bike to the 125cc category and they have brought it almost unchanged, which is why the Pulsar 125 twins are way ahead in terms of performance, in terms of design and visual appeal, in terms of suspension and ride quality, in terms of braking, and also in terms of equipment and value. Well, I guess this wraps up my review of the Pulsar 125. If you like what you've seen and want to see more, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to be the first to get all the updates from Dinos Vault. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, God bless, and ride safe.
She wanna lie